insight's a little better.
Yeah, insight would probably be better because insight's wisdom,
Yes,
isn't it?
do insight.
Natural 1.
Oh god, that one. Okay. All right. So Cutler, you know that if this wand is as powerful as this wizard says it is, that it could fetch a very high price.
Cutler, being a pirate, goes, actually, that wand could sell for more than what the book is worth. We could do an even trade and get some money on top of it.
If I may impose unto you, Cutler, it seems that you're starting to understand my thought processes. But I pose to you this question.
I mean,
If this wand is worth so much, why is that man willing to trade for it and then sell a book for 100 gold?
Yeah, and why do you still need 100 gold if this wand is worth so much?
Well, you could attune to the wand. We could take a rest before heading out. You could see if he's just pulling our leg or not.
I intend to do just that.
Okay,
So we're taking a short rest?
Are you guys gonna, like, hang around town for a night or whatever? Or
I was just thinking a short rest.
I was just
attuning
I was just trying to attune and get moving.
Attuning only takes an hour, so a short rest should be enough.
oh, okay, enough to attune to the wand. Okay. Okay, so who's going to attune to the wand? Folidar, you have it right now, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you going to attune to it?
Are you able to?
That's a good question. I am a man who does not magic very often.
You are able to attune to it. It is a wand of wonder.
Technically, Cutler could have really attuned to it if he wanted to.
Anybody can attune to it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not
You
me.
instantly
because I'm
know
full.
that it can. You instantly know that it can cast like just a number of spells. You can feel the power radiating off this wand is just immense.
Intriguing.
Do we even need the book, or is the wand enough?
I just tucked the wand. I don't even care to explain it.
Well, I know about the wonder because I can make it.
That's true.
All right. Well, should we head out now?
Yes. I'm quite done with whatever I needed to do.
Okay. Well, now that you have attuned, do you think the book is even worth it, or should we just take the wand and go to the mind?
If this book is the one that I've been looking for, it's absolutely worth every dime.
But you were looking for just one book?
Oh, friend.
If it's something, what I'm presuming it is, if it's something of a catalog that the friend described, it's quite worth it.
Cutler asks, so are we going to trade the wand, or are we just going to give him the 100 gold?
I suppose we'll see when we get there, won't we?
Okay.
The best outcome is just be 100 gold and the book, and without giving the wand. Yes, that would be
That was my thought process, too.
favorable outcome.
Between the 10 gold he gave us to stay the night each, and the 50 gold he gave us for the delivery, we have technically, 110 gold? Because there's 6 of us?
Oh, we have way more gold than that.
Well, I'm just talking about from this delivery specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So we make 10 gold in profit, and then whatever these 2 items are worth.
Well, let's hope the gods are forever in our favor here.
Well, if he's selling the book for 100 gold, I don't see why he wouldn't just sell it.
We should just kill him.
Are you guys going to begin walking toward the exit, the gates?
Are you saying we should just kill him out loud enough for Kablooey to be able to hear you?
Of course.
Oh, God.
Are you guys going to begin walking toward the gates while you're having this
Absolutely.
conversation?
Definitely
Okay.
just
As you guys are walking toward the gates, and you're having your conversation, Navari's kind of shaking her head. She's like, we couldn't take the cart. And she gets up. She
Yes,
gets
the
up
princess wanting to not walk.
She gets up and begins walking, and she's like,
Well, you can ride on my mount. There's plenty of space.
My, I hope noble living has indulged your muscles.
she says, I don't need muscles the way that most
She's just going to
people
cast
do."
levitate. She's just going to cast levitate or something, isn't she?
Okay, so she hops on the back of a giant elk.
I hope it's comfy for you, princess.
Cutler and Jess
He's calling Navari princess now. That's fun. I'm down.
I did. I called her princess. I'm like, what? You can't walk, princess? She's gonna get annoyed at us real quick.
Oh.
She says, I don't usually have to walk, peasant.
Ooh, got you.
I may be a peasant, but at least I can live without having to rely on the royal necessities that you have come to rely on. I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know how to catch my own food should I need to. Something tells me without your fancy magic, you couldn't survive a day in the wilderness.
And yet you refuse to pick up a book.
She says, oh, I know I can do that. It's the question of why should I have to?
It's not a matter of have to, it's... okay. Cutler walks away completely annoyed by her arrogance.
She says, that's okay. When you go fishing, I'll eat the fish.
No, you won't. You have to catch your own.
She says, we'll see.
I say.
No, I think your boyfriend could take care of you.
That too! You have two of them, and it seems to be... Well, one's a boy, one's a girl. You have two people who seem to be crushing on you.
My Cutler, are you jealous?
No.
Have I not showered you with enough attention, friend?
Cutler looks dead at you in the eye. I would not want a spoiled princess, even if my life depended on it. I would prefer death.
The implication was that you were jealous of her.
She walks up... Navari walks up to Cutler and says, my dear boy, if only I had wanted you, you would beg to serve me.
Cutler looks at you and throws up on you. Directly in your face. He is sickened by that thought. Cutler is a happy man as a single man.
Are you literally going to throw up on her?
Yes, he is that sickened by it.
So you get ready and you throw up, and when you do, the wind just goes and splashes it back in your face.
Cutler laughs. Nice one.
My, they may have more chemistry than I opposed.
Cutler laughs at her, goes nice one, and just wipes it off him.
All right, so
perhaps I'm the one that's getting jealous.
As you head out the gates, you guys are traveling through the woods, the King's Wood, and you guys not long before you're traveling, along the river again, and you head toward the Kuiper Farm, which is, kind of nestled in like a grove near the woods. And you see a rather large, about 6'4", a rather large guy, about 6'4", strongly built, chopping firewood, and he's near the farm, like near the main house of the farm. It's like basically there's only one house and like a small barn, and like some fields and such. But
so this is where the book is.
That's where it's supposed. That's what you were told. Yes.
Good sir.
I waved down.
By the way, I will be lecturing the entire party on not just willy-nilly killing people just because you want something from them.
Yeah, agreed.
Just looks at Januka and goes, good luck with that. I'm a literal fucking pirate. And continues walking.
You have a pirate and an assassin and a morally ambiguous researcher.
That doesn't mean I can't lecture.
I mean, lecture, absolutely. It doesn't mean it's not going to go in 1 year.
Hey, the lecture is necessary. Don't get me wrong.
And you hear Navari kind of clear her throat loudly and say, I believe you're a privateer, Captain Cutler.
Cutler looks confused. What's the difference?
Well, it was a nice ruse for as long as it lasted.
She just says touche, and then continues following you guys.
Cutler's literally just like, what's the difference?
Cutler is abandoning our entire merchant cover.
She says, if you must know the actual difference, you're a pirate for our queen.
I'm still a pirate, but I'm just a legal pirate now.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
You're a pirate without the bounty.
I'm all for that.
You'll get bounty.
No, he's a pirate with a mark that says the bounty's his. Legally belongs to him. He doesn't just have to take it and say it's his. The queen says it's his. All right.
Cutler just starts laughing along with Navari.
So you guys go to the. You guys walk up there, and who was flagging him down? Was it Voladar? Or
Fuller?
Yeah, I just do it.
And Cutler was just going, "Hey, we inquired about a book."
you see him look up at you at first, like in a little bit of a kind of a mock shock, like, okay, you know, like, and then he just smiles and he walks down to you. He says, he says, Toaster must have sent you.
Yes, we have interest in the book. What is it?
He says, oh, book, huh? And he like looks
Yes.
around. He says, you must be talking about Zadron's book.
No clue what
Exactly.
the book is. Talster just said it's something about a catalog of some sort.
He says, and do you have the wand?
We do, but we're also interested in just giving you the 100 gold.
We also have that autographed paper that he signed but didn't sign, but signed.
That's true. The autograph paper is exchangeable for cash with the Squire Marlin.
We also have this.
He says, well, how much is that worth? He says, 1 second, and you see him saying some words, archaic words, and
Well, Cutler has no idea what the fuck he's saying.
and you realize he's getting ready to cast a spell.
Cutler's readying a javelin.
While he's casting the spell, can I just turn to Jessa and just be like, would you mind handing me that secret map for just a moment?
Cutler's preparing to throw a javelin at him if need be.
Why the hell would I give you the secret map?
Actually, no, better yet, Cutler's ready to slice him with the glaive if need be.
So you're going to make like you're ready to slice him with the glaive?
If it seems like it's a hostile spell, yes.
He doesn't seem hostile in his actions so far.
If the spell is a hostile spell, specifically like attacks us with a spell, I'm ready
Okay,
if need be.
I got you.
Jessa, I know we have our differences, both in opinion and personality. But if I'm correct, I have the opportunity for us to walk away with all of the loot. Isn't that your thing, more or less?
He
I
says,
know it's mine.
Yes,
He says-
but like
He says,
we still need the map.
He says, might I see the secret
Oh,
page?
don't worry, we are not losing the map.
He says, might I see the secret page?
The secret page.
Why am I giving you the secret page? What's going on here?
Wait, did he just ask for the map?
No,
It doesn't sound like a secret to me.
No, not the map. Well, first of all,
No,
you
the
guys are
map-
talking about the map right in front of him, so I don't know. But second of all, he's not talking about the map. He said the secret page.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's talking about
The blank piece of paper
The
that.
blank piece
Yeah,
of paper that
the-
was signed
yeah.
and given to you.
Give it to him, Januka.
Yeah, Januka's the one who has it, so.
No, I'll give it to him.
Because you also talked about having the thing in front of him. So he says, yes, he says, looks like it's worth about 1,000 gold. He says, you'll have to come up a little, though, if you want the book and want to keep the wand.
We have the 100 gold you requested as
How
well.
much?
He says, no, 100 gold
Way
plus
more than
1,000 gold is still not enough.
How much
What
is this
do you-
book worth and what exactly does it do?
He says, the book is priceless.
And what
Yes,
does it
exactly. I've a little bit Fallon is a little bit going between them. And one question: what do you know about the Circlet of the Planeswalker?
Circlet of the Planeswalker? He
Yeah.
says, I'm not a Horizon Walker. He says, I don't know where to find one of those.
Oh, you're quite lucky. I have one of those.
Circlet of the Planeswalker?
And exactly.
He says,
exactly
I'm not
what you need.
100% sure of what that is.
Oh, it's an quite interesting item that will fetch a quite interesting price for the people that you probably do
Sultan.
business with. I think it's an quite interesting exchange for the wand.
The longer this conversation goes on, the more Cutler was agreeing with Tessa that we should just murder this dude and take the book.
What is what is the Circlet of the Planeswalker, Oliver? Is that something actual?
Oh, that gave you me.
Circlet of Planeswalker. While you wear this circlet, you could choose to be considered on your native plane for the effects of banishment and other spell. What?
Okay. Yeah. Is that something? Is that something from this, or is that something?
That you gave me.
Yeah. So
You
I
gave
gave
it
you
to
right.
him.
Yeah. Okay. I thought
You
so.
want to fucking trade that when we don't even know what this book is?
He says, "Well,
It's not important.
He says,
The importance is that it's a
"So
book.
you're gonna let him know what it does, it says, right?" He says. He says,
You see, it's quite
he says-
valuable.
He says that does. He kind of holds his hand to his head, and he's like,
If we include the circlet, though, we're not giving you the 100 gold. That's a straight up trade because that's really, really, really powerful.
he says, "Okay."
Exactly.
He says, "Okay, I can do." He says, "I can do the wand and the circlet."
Cutler's getting visibly angry at this point.
I'm
He
gonna
says-
whisper to
he
Bob
says,
Louie's
or
ear
I
and be
could
like,
do.
"You
He says, or I could do
something,
the
otherwise you're
circlet.
going to kill him."
He says, or I could do the circlet, and the secret page.
Do we know anything about the secret page? Like what it is?
50,000 gold.
One question: does the Eldritch feat that I can read everything work on the secret page?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yes. Yeah, it reveals that it's worth 1,000 gold.
But what does it say though? Because it allows him to read all writing.
It
It's a deed.
basically
It's
says
a
it's
deed.
basically like an IOU or a note, like a bill of
Thank you.
sale type of thing, saying pay upon delivery 1,000 gold to the recipient
Oh.
with the signature of the wizard.
What do we want more here? 1,000 gold
I'm-
or the wand?
You don't know that it's really worth 1,000 gold, just parchment. But I think the Circle of the Planeswalker technically doesn't use us quite well, and the book is way more
I'm
interesting.
Because we're giving the secret page because I don't want to deal with
The
them.
book. Okay, so you know that the wand itself, is probably worth,
Yes.
something along the lines of, I would say, probably close to 60,000 or more gold.
We are keeping the wand. Give him the fucking page.
Yes.
Were you not aware that when
Page
he
and
straight up
circlet.
said he was still gonna make us pay for the wand after?
Get the Circle and the Circle of the Planeswalker on the page.
He says,
That's,
he
I'm
says,
totally fine with
he
it.
says, you realize I'm taking a loss here when, trading it for just the circlet and the page. He says, but you've convinced me the circlet is more useful to me.
And
Well,
I
we
see it as
appreciate
as a good investment into into a good deed.
He says,
And consider it an alliance with the potentially future traders. AKA, we could potentially help you out, get stuff across sea for a decent price.
Yeah, we can get him the whole Star Anchor spiel and spread our names some more.
Yeah, exactly what Cutler was thinking here.
he says, okay. He says, all right, done. And he trades you the
Cutler, being a businessman, would shake his hand, or offer to at least.
He reaches into a portable hole and he pulls out a book and hands it to
I
you.
take the book directly.
Cutler would reach
I
out
like
to
actually
shake his
push
hand.
Cutler out of the way to take the book too. Like just
Cutler is opposing this wholeheartedly. He is not letting you push him.
He shakes your hand, Cutler, and like you feel his grip, and it's a firm handshake, and it's like
Impressive.
it's like an iron grip, like crushing grip, and to Cutler that's like a big deal because Cutler's got a crushing grip,
Cutler goes, impressive. You're not what you appear to be. Impressive. You're not what you appear to be.
Goes
Somebody
back.
has an echo.
That's through Daniel's speakers.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
All right, so
I just immediately start flipping through the book.
I steer on his elbow looking at it.
okay,
because
so
I'm-
this is kind of what the book looks like.
Oh, hell no.
Nope, I'm already flipping through it. Doesn't even matter.
Oh, hell no. That's the type of book you're going to have to make some sort of reading the pages.
It will require attunement. It is essentially, it is essentially a magical book. It looks like basically a leather-bound book with a silk drawstring, like a silk closing string.
You knew the detective.
When you
I paid for it.
when you open the book, the first thing that you notice is there's a loose page.
Oh.
The restoring on this book is going to be terrifying.
You notice
I'm not removing the page. I just kind of wanted to flip to it.
You notice that all the other pages seem to be blank, and you notice that the page you're looking at, the loose page, kind of seems to be blank. But you notice that the page is partially torn out, the loose page.
Well, he didn't attune to it yet, so.
I'm just lightly placing the page back in proper.
Can I try to and mend it?
Please, if you will. I just
I'll take a minute.
very desperately
Okay,
holding
you
it.
can mend it. It seems to like reseal and reseat back to its original form, like in the book. But all the pages seem to be blank.
I take my bookmark out and place it where that torn page was. I just close the book and I go, it seems I'll have to take some time before I can feast my eyes upon this.
Yeah.
He says, well, tell if you see Tauster again, I tell him I appreciate the trade and thanks for keeping up his end of the deal.
Speaking of Tauster, though it be unlikely, you wouldn't by any chance have seen his apprentice pass by here.
Well, sometimes he sends her to look for herbs and plants along the Hogbrook. I haven't seen her in about a week or so.
And what do you know of the
But she may have stopped by the Hogbrook to gather supplies.
And Telster mentioned something about caves. What do you know about those?
Well, there's caves all around these woods, but he says there's a cave not far from here. He says I believe it's the old Garlstone mine. He says, but I don't go there. He says my tracking days are mostly just for hunting these days, and he says I like to farm.
Oh, one thing I'm learning about is these Hotbrook where the apprentice is gathering often the ingredients. Is near the mine entrance?
Yeah, not too far. Yeah.
I'm getting sick of these diversions. I want to go to the mine.
Okay, you can totally go to the mine. Yes.
Is this the mine that we're thinking about, or the mine that he's thinking about?
The same mine, the Garlstone mine.
The mine that you're going, the mine that you guys want to go to is the one that he said.
So there would be no happy coincidence that the apprentice would be lost in the mine.
He says
something like that.
He says, "Here, let me grab my tunic," and he says, "Never mind." And he grabs like this leather jerkin type thing, like basically like a vest, and puts it on, and ties it up, and says, "I'll ferry you guys across the river." He says, "I got a ferry up the way here."
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay.
Truly a pleasure doing business with you.
And so he walks with you the rest of the way, about another probably 400 yards up the bank, and you see a little ferry come into view, and he like ferries you across the river on this little like raft type thing. He stops periodically and he looks for tracks once you guys are on the other side. And you guys are traveling along, and he's like, he says it's a couple hours up ahead to the mine. He says, I don't know if that's where you're headed, but he says, I got a friend around here, and he's like looking, and make a survival check for anybody who has survival that wants to. I'm assuming
has proficiency in survival.
Yeah, anybody that has proficiency in survival, or actually anybody who wants to try to, but
Nah.
But basically, I'm assuming some of you might be kind of on a lookout, anyways. So.
Since it's wisdom related, I'll roll for it at least.
Okay, so Cutler, you see some very noticeable wolf prints in Folidar, some very visible like canine prints. I'm not sure if you would know. Do you have survival proficiency?
No.
No. Okay, so you wouldn't know that it was probably wolves, but Cutler, you have survival proficiency, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know that it's wolves. Folidar, you know that it's some sort of canine.
There's wolf tracks.
Or some kind of, like, dog-like thing, anyway.
Does-
Did you somehow roll the? Oh wait, no. Okay. I was like, you rolled the
I
circle.
accidentally clicked the 1d4. Yes.
We dealt with worse.
Does Cutler know like anything more about these wolf tracks, or do they just seem like normal wolves?
Yeah, your survival
Me
check's
neither.
wasn't high enough to know
Okay.
like what kind of wolf or anything, but
Okay.
and it'd be like
There's
it'd have to
wolves.
be kind of high to be able to decipher one wolf from the other, probably.
Yeah.
So
There's wolves around here. Be on your guard. I know we're pretty powerful, but wolves can overwhelm unexpecting people.
Yes.
Kuiper says, "Yeah, it's gray wolves." He says, "Very good, good eye." And he keeps walking. He says, "There." And just as he gets done saying gray wolves and says, "There," a gray wolf steps into view.
Cutler smiles.
Up on the road ahead, he says, there she is, and then suddenly, a woman in robes, and a woman with a ragged cloak and robes, like, looms into view, like, shortly after the gray wolf.
Cutler looks at the guy. Is that the friend of yours, the gray wolf included?
Yeah, he says, yes. Well, the wolf is more her friend than mine. He says,
But it won't attack us.
he's friendly enough though. He won't attack unless she tells it to. And then,
Are you sure? Dogs don't like me.
and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure." And then shortly after she steps into view, another gray wolf steps into view next to her. And so he says, "That's Olean," and he holds up a hand and says, "Olean, well met." And you see this extraordinary appearing woman, somewhere under the dirt on her face. Looks like there's possibly a remarkably pretty young woman. It's kind of hard to tell, but her hair is long and unkempt, and her clothes are a little more than rags. She's about 5'5", lightly built, and has dark eyes and auburn hair. She speaks common haltingly, with some kind of unplaceable dialect. It makes it difficult to understand her a little bit.
My, well, isn't she quite the looker?
And you see,
Calm down.
Cutler just looks over at you, seriously.
You see the
Again.
You see the one that the second wolf that comes out walk over toward the party and kind of sniff everybody, and then go over by Kuiper and sniff him and kind of like nudge at him playfully a little bit. And Kuiper says, "Belshar, good to see you too." And he kind of nods at the other wolf, which hasn't even come close to the party or him, and he says, "Arlen," like that.
Cutler just looks to Fulidar. I swear, you're more horny than a bard.
My, is it so wrong for me to have an appreciation of faces?
It's concerning how much of an appreciation you have.
Well, considering my upbringing, I would say having an appreciation for faces is very beneficial to me.
And creepy.
Okay.
Rather.
So he says, "Olean, have you seen Jelenith?" And she is kind of agitated, but she kind of shakes her head no, and she says, "No, but I have problems of my own."
Are they related to the mine?
Insight on the agitation.
And Cutler goes, are they related to the mine?
This mine? Who would go to such a place?
We do.
She says, "Why go into a mine when everything you need is right here?" And
Before Cutler can answer, Before Cutler can answer, I just like stop him to be like,
yes.
Bear in mind, we're trying to avoid informing people of what could be in the mine.
Ah! I see.
Insight check on the agitation.
And it was a 14.
It's only a 14, though.
Would Cutler have noticed the agitation, or was that like specifically certain people noticed?
Now, probably everybody noticed she was agitated a little bit.
Okay, I will go ahead and attempt that as well.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Steph definitely noticed.
That's good.
I was not expecting that.
Okay, so you don't know exactly what she's agitated about, but Stephanie, Jessa definitely, or are you Tessa right now still?
I'm Tessa.
Okay, Tessa definitely knows that it's about something in the woods.
Oh, jeez. Have we got? Do you need us to hunt something? I'm getting a little agitated.
She kind of looks a little bit more agitated, and she says,
Crap.
"No. Why would I ask you to hunt something?" And then she looks.
Do you need us to help you capture something?
You don't have to. You don't have to. If I'm recalling correctly, we will stumble upon something, and we will definitely help you.
She says, "Please, if you hunt my woods, be respectful of them."
Do you need our help by any chance?
Oh, Linda.
She says, "Well,
Are,
you see, a young boy. He is in the woods. He's not a young boy." She goes, and she goes like, she like strains for a second, and then you see her like change shape, and she turns into a big bear. She's like, like that.
my suspicions confirmed.
And then
Werewolf.
Druid.
And then she changes back, and she says, "This has happened to the young boy, only not like me."
Yes.
He like looks. She's like looking up. She's having trouble placing it into words that you will understand.
Werewolf?
She hasn't.
Oh no, he is an
When you say
affected lycanthrope, so to speak.
So you
Yeah, that's what Cutler's saying, werewolf.
when Cutler says werewolf, she says yes, but no, but like me.
Where deer?
The bear?
Yes,
Druid.
yes, werebear.
Bear
Okay.
is instead this form of it. It's not far apart.
We need to kill him or capture him, or
She says.
Knock him out?
He's still part of the family. I would probably try to not kill him per
She
se.
looks at Tessa. She looks at Tessa like strangely. She says, "He's just a boy."
So you need us to
is
knock
he
him out?
violent, or is he calm? Like, is he hurt?
Is he in control?
She says, "No, he can't change back."
Oh.
Oh,
He
he's
masters
stuck.
his ability.
She
But
says,
is he hurt?
Are you sure he didn't just get eaten by a bear?
She says, "I'm sure he is the bear."
Okay.
And
If-
then she says, "But he needs to change back."
Cutler looks over to Fuladar like he whispered in my ear earlier. Is there any chance the wand can help?
God,
Perhaps. But I fear there's something strange. The closer we get to this mine, the weirder things seem to get.
I've noticed too, believe me.
He says, "You hear the Kuiper guy that's with you, the farmer." He says, "Where did this boy come from?" And she says, "Kreinen's farmstead." And then Kuiper says quietly to the party, he kind of says, "It must be Kreinen's son. His name is Maxim."
Is Kreinen a werebear too?
So I know his father probably doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
He says, "You must be worried, though, if this has been going on for a little bit." And he says, "Werebears." He says to the party, he says, "Werebears aren't evil." He says they're not vicious, but they will act like bears. He says so. Must be treated with caution, but he says,
Calm.
He says they're not ravenous like a werewolf might be.
Well, that's good.
I
We
mean,
might.
I
Do we?
guess Cutler go fishing, and we can trap him with fish. Figure out what to do with him.
He says,
Hmm.
He says, "Well,"
I don't hate that
he
idea.
says that she doesn't seem to have seen Jelenith. He says, "But I would like to find this boy." He produces a couple of weighted nets from his backpack. And he says, "If the werebear panics and attacks you, you must defend yourselves, but please capture him without hurting him."
Well, Cutler, I know how to do non-lethal with my weapons, so I could probably do it non-lethally.
So this is also like he kind of has made an assumption that you guys are even going to help him. So I mean, it's kind of like up to you guys whether you want to or not, or whether you want to continue on to the cave or or you know, just because you could just leave it up to him too, possibly.
Oldar stays deep in thought while everyone ruminates.
Cutler is thinking about helping him.
Of course, we'll help you.
Cutler looks over. Cutler looks over at his nephew and just slaps him.
Ah!
After you after you traveled through the woods, you know, like this, it's been a couple hours to get from the Kuiper's farm to here. So Folidar, if you had wanted to attune to the book during that time, you could have.
Oh, 100%.
Cutler just after slapping his nephew goes, "Don't you think we should talk about this?"
I say we've done enough talking. Our moral center has spoken.
He just looks at his nephew and goes, "I love you, but at the same time, I hate you."
So Carl wants to go help?
Yes.
Of course. Of course I'll help.
So I suggest we lure him with like fish or berries or honey or whatever.
You see Kuiper, he beams the biggest smile at Ka, and he kind of grabs Ka's hand and shakes it. He says, good on you, lad. And he's kind of shaking Ka around while he's shaking it. You know,
Be careful, Kuiper. He's very fragile. He was dropped on his head a couple times as a baby.
A great idea, Tessa. It's great to see what a mind can conjure up when it isn't thinking about murder.
Cutler smiles at Carl Bluey.
I didn't finish because
Still shaking my hand.
I've installed the snare that will capture. So we lure them with the food, like capture them, and then we can like work on whatever we need to do.
A solid idea.
What if we lure him into the mines and help him and have him help clear it out?
We're not doing that.
You hear
It could be risky.
Olean says, "Come, follow me. I will take you to where he was." And says, Belshar, Arlen, come. And the wolves follow her, and she goes and kind of disappears into the woods. And then Kuiper quickly follows her after.
Well, I guess we're following.
Following, I mean, there goes my capture plan, but okay.
It was unfortunate that us changelings seemed to be disparaged by the rest of the community.
When you get to a certain spot in the woods, she says, "This is where I last saw him." And she says, "This would be best where you would lay your snare."
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. So my plan is
Now I have
back
to
up.
take back my comment about
Cutler
possible
just-
racism.
Cutler's just gonna throw a couple of fish from his bag on the floor.
Are you gonna do the snare spell? You said.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just threw some fish as bait.
I just lean up against a tree and start reading the book again.
Okay. And when you get there, it's actually it's getting like dark.
Oh God.
And Kuiper says, "Well, maybe we should make camp near here, but somewhere, you know, sort of in sight of the snare, so we can, you know, make sure it's, you know, if we can see if it goes off or whatever, you know." And he says, "And we should probably make a cold camp." He says, "You know, keep the flames low so it doesn't scare the bear off."
Mm-hmm.
If we don't go more than 1 mile away from here, it wouldn't be a problem, says Fallon as he sets up a little alarm spell as a ritual to accompany the snare.
He says, "Very well, very well." He says, "You there, mage?" And he talks to Tessa. He says, "Can you make these?" And he hands you an arrow, and it's kind of got a blunt tip.
Yes. What is this thing? What am I looking at?
He He says it's the only one I have left. He says it's a walloping arrow, but I might need more if we're to subdue the thing.
Oh yeah, I can easily.
Also, don't you mean
Do
the
some
child?
crafting?
It's not a thing.
He says it's a thing right now.
Do I
Okay.
need to make a check to make more walloping arrows?
Do you have what now?
Do I need to make a check to make more arrows for
Yeah,
him?
just make an Arcana check.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
I'm not happy with that. Can I use my inspiration to
Sure.
roll again?
Well, no, you're at a D6 for inspiration.
D6, even better.
Believe me, I get confused too because that's how I do it in my house. My home games is just inspirations as a reroll.
I usually do that too.
Okay, that's better. 16. I'm
16.
happier.
All right. So 16. So yeah, you're able to make it relatively easy.
Yay, walloping arrows.
I've had that inspiration forever. I just need to get rid of
How
it.
long does it take? How long is your conjure? Not conjure item, but when you replicate an item, how long does that take you to do?
I think it's a short or long rest. I don't know. I think it's a long rest.
My ability? Replicate?
Yeah, to change your magic
is
items.
long rest.
Yeah.
No.
The replicate item ability. I'm just trying to figure out how long that takes.
It's not an ability. It's one of the artificer infusions, and to change your infusions can only be done on a long rest.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not an infusion.
Yeah, it is. It's the replicate magic item. It's under the artificer infusions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe that's what. Yep. But it's
I mean, I have magic.
It's not a change of an infusion. It's just how long does it take?
It's if she has two already, then yeah, it would be a change
James,
because you're only
shut up.
about.
It doesn't. It's not a change, dude. Trust me.
How about this?
I don't care how many she's got. She could have 1 billion. It's not a change. I'm saying if she had none, how long would it take?
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go on a walk so I don't lash out.
Okay, good. God. From now on, James can run the game. Alright, so how long does it take to do the replicate magic item thing? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Anybody?
Actually,
I put the
replicate magic item takes. I thought it was usually like the same length as a attunement would take, right?
That's what I want to know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So I believe that is the case, or is it dependent on what the item was?
Using this infusion, you can replicate a particular magic item. You can learn this infusion multiple times. Each time you do so, choose a magic item that you can make. Picking from.
Maybe I need to be looking under the artificer infusion. How long does it take to do an infusion?
Yes.
Is it just an action? Is it?
I think it is just an action.
Whenever
I
you
don't
finish
think.
a long rest. Okay, so it doesn't say. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if the item requires attunement, you can attune yourself. So this doesn't require attunement.
The technically is after the end of a long rest, so it would
so it doesn't
be
really
some
say.
kind
So
of.
it's essentially like instantaneous, or it takes a long rest, depending. I guess.
Yeah, no, it's you can infuse more than one non-magical object at the end of a long rest.
Yeah. So is it like any number of them?
I think what it's saying is like.
Oh, equal to your. Oh, that's different.
Equal to your infusion table number, etc., etc., etc.
I think it's saying like we have to be resting for to be able to replicate a magic item.
Okay, so
For the long rest duration.
okay, so yeah, and you're not she's not exactly replicating it per se. It's not as the infusion. That's why I was trying to figure out the time, because she's actually just creating new ones.
Yeah.
Would this be considered a simple task?
Probably. Well, how long does a simple task say?
Or no, because I was gonna see if I could cast this to help.
Okay, let me use your hands. All right. Yeah, let's take a break or two while we're at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, BRB.
Yeah, let's do the BRB thing again. All right. Okay, we're AFK. Or you know what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, I was trying to log into the Twitch thing here. Hold on one second here. Anyways, we're gonna call it a little bit early. Having some technical difficulties, and we're gonna pick it up in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks.